Hello, welcome back to another episode of Making Video Your Business. This week, our hot seat is our guest, Charlotte Nicholls. Now, Charlotte is, she's got a really clever job title. I can't quite remember, but she's definitely the chairperson for the Apprentice Ambassador Network. Close?
Yeah, East Midlands Apprenticeship Ambassador Network.
Excellent. So we've been filming today. You and some of your colleagues have been down to the studio. We've had a great morning's filming. We thought, well, let's get Charlotte on the podcast, talk about some visuals, but also a little bit about what you do, because this role in particular is voluntary, right? So give us a little potted history of these guys. What do they do? How did you get into touch with them or contact with them? And because you've had a pretty cool career path in terms of like, no, I want to change my mind. We were talking in the interview before, but so yeah, tell us a little bit about you and these guys.
Yeah, of course. So the East Midlands Apprenticeship Ambassador Network is a group of volunteers, both apprentices and employers, who are advocates for apprenticeships and making awareness of apprenticeships for those who might consider them. So school leavers, career changers like myself, that kind of thing. So myself, I started as just an apprentice ambassador. So I'd go to schools, talk about my experience as an apprentice, how I got into my apprenticeship. And then I became the Apprentice Chair. And then I stepped down because I got a promotion at work.
Nice.
And then when the Employer Chair stepped away, I decided to then step up as the Employer Chair. So I've gone from Apprentice Ambassador, Apprentice Chair to Employer Chair now.
So now the person that you would have dealt with as an apprentice, you're now that person. You deal with new apprentices coming through, right? So
exactly, in my day job, yeah.
Full circle of life.
Yes, yeah.
And listen, we've all heard about apprenticeships and, if you're a bit as grey as me, but like YTS schemes and stuff like that. But things have really moved on from like the 70s and 80s. And it's not like, I get an apprenticeship with my dad because he's a builder and this, that and the other. Like, what does the apprenticeship programme and pathway look like and feel like now?
Yeah, so it's absolutely different. Right, as you said, everyone assumes, you can only do manual jobs for an apprenticeship. Yeah. Completely wrong. So not only can you do pretty much any career, there's only one career you can't do, and that's a pilot. So you can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, all sorts of different careers that can go through an apprenticeship route. But in terms of how and why people should consider an apprenticeship and why they're different to how they were, is because they're a lot more structured now. So you get an endpoint assessment at the end and you end up with a qualification that's nationally recognised. So I did my apprenticeship in HR. I've actually got my CIPD, which I would have had to go to university for.
Of course.
So that's really exciting.
And is that something that you got the job first whilst doing that, but then they've, like in terms of wraparound care, they've supported you financially and time-wise to help you keep learning?
Absolutely, yes. So I got the job as an apprentice, learned the basics of HR while doing my apprenticeship, passed my course, which meant I was able to practice HR, and then I was able to develop myself and become a fully fledged HR officer, and now manage my apprenticeship levy.
Yeah, and you are fully fledged, because in previous interview when we had in a different studio, different cameras, but you've been, not only promoted and fast tracked by the sounds of it, because you are amazing, but you've written your own policies and stuff. So you're really, for people thinking, it's apprenticeship's just like a minimum wage job or something that won't lead anywhere. That's just not right, is it? Like, you can really flourish on this path.
Yeah, me and my friend actually had a pact. We both did apprenticeships, and we thought to ourselves, let's see how far we can go with our salaries compared to our friends that went to university. And we found that we're actually earning more than our friends now, even though they went to university. So that's quite funny. And we've got no debt.
I was going to say, you've probably got like 40, 50, 60 grand less debt. Yeah. Oh, amazing. Right. Okay. So, and what do your friends think of that? Are they just like, whatever, like, but
they've all done various different things in their studies, whereas, I've done human resources. Some of them have done other studies, but as long as they enjoy it. I think some of them are jealous that they hadn't done it this route, but it wasn't something when I was younger that was promoted as an option at school. It was university or nothing.
Yeah, likewise for us. We sort of went on that pathway of sixth form, and it was just, that was it. You either go to university or you go and get a job, sort of thing. And there was no sort of middle ground, and that's nothing against the school as such, but I just don't think this kind of thing was developed enough. I mean, especially on the national, Kasim was talking earlier about, is it called the Assembly?
Yeah, Big Assembly, yeah.
Yeah, what's that? Tell us a little bit of that, because that sounds huge and far-ranging.
Yeah, so the East Midlands Apprenticeship Ambassador Network, which we call EMAAN for short, actually sponsored the Big Assembly this year. And what that is a chance like this for a panel member to ask questions of an apprentice, get to know more about an apprenticeship, and schools can watch. Right. And this is exactly what you said. This wasn't an option for us in school. It wasn't talked about.
But schools would like live stream in from assembly or something, would they?
Yeah, so you'd have some schools that were actually there and see it in person, and then the majority of schools, because there was more than 300 schools, would live stream onto it, and they could actually submit questions beforehand as well if they wanted to.
Okay, cool, yeah. So, and have you seen any, because you work with people coming through on the programme, have you seen any, not say like big wins, but like people that were a little bit lost educationally or didn't know what the next step would be, and actually this has really given them a whole new pathway that just almost never knew existed, right?
Absolutely. This has been my favourite thing about my job, is that I've been able to create these careers and opportunities for all these people. So you're going to be meeting Ikra on Friday. She started with us as a paralegal apprentice. When she completed her course, she said to me, I'd like to be a solicitor. I went, let's look for a course. And she's so close to becoming a solicitor now because of apprenticeship.
Steve mentioned that on camera before. You haven't met him, but amazing young guy called, mid-age, mid-20s, sorry. But yeah, he's sort of absolutely smashing it in digital marketing. But he was mentioning about Ikra, and I did not know you could become fully fledged. And it's not, it's what's the early learning centre certificate? Yeah. You're a proper solicitor, yeah?
If anything, it's sometimes harder. She's doing this over 4 years. Normally it's a 6-year course. Whereas university would only be 3 years, for example, because you're also working at the same time. So it's part-time learning. But it means she's actually in court most weeks. She's representing us at the council. She's doing that when a lot of people are just learning about it. And so
I never knew what I wanted to be when I wish I knew that I wanted to be a doctor or a pilot at age 14, because then you could go down that career path. But for a lot of kids, it's quite blurry at that stage. And this is worth looking into, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it goes back to my roots as well, is so pushed on you when you're in school. You need to make the choice of your career, know where you want to go, know what you want to do. You're 16, 17, you don't know that. So the apprenticeship, for example, I managed to change my career at 24. I had a mortgage. I wouldn't have been able to do that without an apprenticeship. So
you were NHS before, right?
I was, I was a phlebotomist.
And my new favourite word of the day, phlebotomist.
Yeah.
What is that for the people who don't know?
So phlebotomy is where you take blood for testing. So anytime you have a blood test, the person taking it is a qualified phlebotomist.
Amazing. Yeah. Excellent. See, the word of the day, I think. That's going to go off screensaver. Okay, so moving forward, how do people sort of interact with this or engage with it? How do they find out a little bit more? Is it most schools would happily talk about this, or is it more of a central hub that they have to do off their own back and do their own research?
So we're actively trying to engage with all schools in the UK. So we're all in 9 different districts around the whole of the UK. We're the East Midlands region. And our target by 2026 is to connect with every school in the UK. We're very close to that target in the East Midlands. In fact, today I'm actually going to go pop to some schools on my way home just to see if they want to engage with us. So as much as we'd love the schools to come to us, we appreciate they might not know about us. So we're trying to push our message out there, connect with them in any way we can. A lot of our ambassadors go to the school they went to, schools that they live near, that kind of thing.
That must be, I mean, I spoke about that with Kasim in his interview, but how powerful that is, because he said he was from a distinctly working class background, almost like sort of not very well off, hadn't seen any role models that he could assimilate or move towards and go, I want to do that and take that path. But he's now the guy from his community where he still sort of lives and works in a sense, but people come up to him from his old school, and he's done talks in schools, and they're like, oh, you're the guy that we're now going to copy because you've almost broke the mold, right? And is there any more success stories that spring to mind like that?
Yeah, I think what was nice for me is I did well at school. I got good GCSEs, good A-level grades. So everyone assumed I'd go to university, and I did. For a month. It was not for me.
Not for you,
1 month. But then going back to my college, going back to my school and talking to the same teachers that were there when they taught me, and they're saying, oh, how did it all end up? I know you didn't go to uni. I'm like, actually, I'm doing really well. It's thanks to my apprenticeship. It's nice for me. And I think they feel a bit of pride.
Say a junior's watching this, or someone still in sixth form, where do they head to? Who's the best person to speak to? Is there different paths to start with, or is it just one path that splits? Or
so I'd say the easiest place to find our information is EMAAN.org. So EMAAN.org. That's our website.
Excellent.
On there, you can connect with us via email or any of our social media channels. And on there, if you're a school and you want us to come and do our talk, have an ambassador there, we're more than happy to do so. If you're someone who's interested in apprenticeships, don't know where to start, send us an email. we're happy to tell you. So.
Amazing. And it is making video your business,
Yes.
but we talked in the car park before about visuals. Like, I guess when you go to a school, have you got a presentation or something that they can look at and maybe interact with? How does that work in terms of your promoting all this through visuals as well?
So we do something called a My Story presentation. So we do have like a traditional PowerPoint, but essentially it's a visual to show you our apprenticeship journey. Because as you say, people are more engaged with visuals. So if they can see, for example, what a phlebotomist is on a screen, they're more likely to understand that than me just say the word phlebotomist.
Of course, yeah. Lovely. And when you go into schools, do you get like a little queue of students going, oh, you've really sparked my interest. Can I ask you a couple more questions? Or is it just like, I don't know, who's this lady we're listening to? Or is it quite well received, I bet?
It's hard on assemblies because obviously they're normally filed in, filed straight out. But whenever we get to do the kind of careers days and that kind of thing where we've got a booth, we get quite a few come up to us. I've had a few, which has been really nice. I see a bit of myself in them where I'm not sure what I want to do. I don't like uni, blah, blah, blah. And you talk to them, they kind of light up and it gives them that spark to think there's something else. And likewise, you speak to other people who have a passion. I really want to be a doctor. I don't have the grades for university. And you say, actually, there's another route for you here.
Yeah. Because Tim said a really interesting thing. He said, it's like you mentioned there, it's such a big question to say, oi, you, 16-year-old Charlotte, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? And you're like, I'm not sure I want to take for GCSEs, let alone what I do for a job. But he said by reverse engineering a little bit, he said pick your industry. So if you want to work in the world of sports or business or medical, then take that as a starting point and almost come backwards. Don't try and think, oh, I want to be that specific job, right?
I also would say pick what you like, what you're interested in. The big thing for me is I like helping people. That's why I was in the NHS. That's why I chose HR. So I took that quality there. I like helping people. What kind of careers help people? And then that kind of helps you to think, oh, they're the other good jobs that you might not have heard of. I mean, no one said, at 16, I want to be a HR officer. No one says that. But they say, I want to be a princess. I want to be a vet.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I still want to be a princess. But it's cool. I mean, it's just, again, like reinforcing that message. You don't have to go down that traditional route. You can do your GCSEs, go to college, do something vocational, but then that sparks an interest that you could then get in sort of at a higher level. Chances are, if you do a good job and you look keen and show initiative, you're probably going to land that full-time job at the. And how long would apprenticeship last, actually? In terms of
it depends on the level. So most level 2 and level 3 apprenticeships, which is GCSE level and A level, they will last between 18 months to 2 years. And then you've got your level 5s and level 6, which are almost graduate level, and they will last anywhere from 4 to 6 years. Masters can last anywhere from 2 to 6 years. It depends what the subject is.
So you can even go sort of master.
Oh, yeah. You can go all the way to the top. We've got a few people at my company that I've put on level 7 senior leadership. So that's like training them up to be CEOs, essentially.
Right, okay, wow. Big cheeses are coming, we've done loads of filming this morning for these My Stories and other bits of social media content and web content. What is the benefit to you guys of doing that? Why did you decide to do that and sort of get some content professionally made? What's the benefits to you as a business, I guess? So
I mean, we do go into schools, we do our presentations, but to try and connect with people, especially young people, the best way to do that is through technology. So social media, videos are really engaging. And when you come to a company like yourself and it's giving you a very professional kind of output, it's more engaging, and therefore we're likely to get more interest. And therefore, the person reading it or watching it will be going, well, actually, maybe I will think about apprenticeship because they've looked at this cool video rather than just going, I'm not listening to my teachers.
Brilliant. I'm looking forward to seeing the output. I mean, you said professional. It will be. Can't guarantee it, but no, it'll be great. And just the range of people that came in today, and we've got some more guys coming in a couple of days, haven't we? So it's been great chatting to you. We've gone over the time limit, as I guess, because I like talking and so do you. But you're just a great ambassador for this. So thanks for coming on. Thanks for taking the time. It's been a great day. I'm sure you'll see some of the output we filmed earlier through the network and whatnot. And like Charlotte says, if you're just interested in this career path or this way to get to a career, then do give it a bit more attention and do a little bit of research off your own backs, and good luck in the future, I guess. So thanks for coming on again.
Thank you.
All right, cheers.